this gospel passage saying to those disciples, Jesus said, "You are witnesses of these things." And we heard in the first reading when Peter grasps that and understands that. He preaches on Pentecost. And he says to the crowd, "We are witnesses. We know of what we're talking. We were there. We saw it. You are witnesses of these things." We all know the value of witnesses. In a court case, it's very helpful to both the prosecution and the defense to have witnesses. It helps validate what needs to be decided by the jury. Very conscious of the Derek Chauvin case in Minneapolis this week. How important witnesses are. And it's going to be very important that the jury tries to weigh evidence as seen and understood by different people. Justice needs witnesses. What did you see? What did you hear? What happened? So that people can weigh that evidence and make decisions for themselves. It's true of us in our faith life. We need witnesses. And all of us who are in the church today, no doubt, have experienced witnesses to the faith. Of course, we depend upon what our scriptures tell us. Those two disciples on the road to Emmaus, what they experienced was real. What Mary Magdalene saw at the tomb, what Peter and the other disciples experienced in those times when Jesus came into the room with them. Later it would be Paul meeting Christ on the road in a vision of sort. We have come to believe in these witnesses. We've come to believe that what they saw was real. This was actual. It was factual. And so we can go into a life of faith with an assurance of who Jesus is, his death and his resurrection, and his continuing presence among us. No doubt you have also experienced in your lives other people who have witnessed to their faith. I know some of you are part of St. Francis because someone you work with, someone in your neighborhood, you've told them about St. Francis. Somehow you've spread the word. You've given witness to your own faith by sharing that with another. Some of you might be a daughter who has nudged you into a return to the faith. There are all kinds of examples where somebody's faith life has affected your life, has affected my life. They have witnessed to a life-giving, hope-filled joy about them because they have experienced on some level this ongoing presence of Christ. Thus, I think it's so important that every one of us who is in the church today understands when Jesus says, you are witnesses of these things. You have the power. You have the potential to be a witness to faith. Someone has invited you to St. Francis. Well, why don't you pay it forward, Brother Cass? Why don't you, in turn, invite someone else to experience what you experience on Sunday? Now, we can't hold a lot more people right now. So be careful how much you do this. There will come a day when it won't matter how many people pack in here. And I look forward to that day, because I too have been the recipient of your witness of faith. I see what this church is, what it has been through generations. And I know what it can continue to be as we keep alive the memory, and not just the memory of Jesus, but an ongoing experience of faith life when we gather like this. Those young students from Roger Bacon who are with us way in the back today, you witness to us when young people take their Sunday morning, come to church, be of service to this community. You are a good witness to us, older folk. And hopefully, those of us in the church are witnessing to you of what a faith life looks like and how important that is. That you grasp from this community a little bit more incentive to continue to grow in your faith life as the years progress. You are witnesses of these things. The other day when I walked home, I saw a young man, a neighbor I'd never met. So I just stopped and said, "Do you live here?" Yeah. So I introduced myself. I'm your neighbor. I'm with the Franciscans who live just in the same block down over there. "Oh, how long have you lived here?" We got talking briefly. But leave it to me. I said, "You guys have a faith tradition in the church?" And he said, "Well, he's Swedish Lutheran. His wife is Irish Catholic." I said, "Well, have you ever been over to St. Francis?" He said, "Well, I saw those streamers hanging outside the church when I was stopped in traffic. I wanted to make sure Brother Tim knew. Somebody noticed those." So I invited him. I said, "Well, come sometime with your 6-week-old baby here." And then I sent them the bulletin in the mail, just to remind them. But it's a simple thing. But it doesn't take the pastor to do that. Any member of the church can meet someone else or someone you already know and invite them into a deeper life of faith. If you're experiencing something good here, well, share it with others. You are witnesses of these things. We don't become Catholics to just come into the church and leave an hour later. That's not what we're about. The Latin for the end of Mass, ite missae es. Go. Go. On mission. Missa. It doesn't mean the Mass is ended, like English. No, it means go. You are a missionary. We are charged by our absorbing of the Scripture, our partaking in the breaking of the bread. We're encouraged to go forth. And don't keep it to yourself, but to share that with others. So you are witnesses of these things. Each and every one of us has a potential to help someone who may be struggling in their faith, who may not know where to go at this stage of life. They may not have had good experiences in church in the past. And if you can tell them something of what you experienced here, it may just be the spark that someone needs. Jesus sent his disciples out. We saw Peter all boldness preaching on Pentecost Sunday. And he was bold. I mean, he said, "Like, you people killed Jesus." Like, well, gosh, make us feel good, huh? But you did it out of ignorance. And Jesus' death has meant forgiveness for you and for all. So everyone can be invited to take another look at faith, another look at belonging to church. But we may be the one, you may be the one, who can be the witness to them. So as we celebrate this season of Easter, this gift of God to us, let's try to, each of us, in our own simple way, a humble way perhaps, meet other people where they are. Perhaps just give them a glimpse of what you're experiencing. You don't pressure them, you don't preach to them, you're just witnessing to them, someone, what being part of St. Francis is meaning to you. So, ite missa es. You're supposed to say Deo gratias. Let's stand and give some